I am 16 years old and I am from Zhukovsky. Despite the fact that Zhukovsky is a small town, still it's the center of aviation in Moscow region. I study in a usual school called the 14th Lyceum. My class was formed to prepare future engineers and pilots for our city. We deeply studied physics, mathematics and IT. However, I also really enjoy learning languages. Since my parents are able to speak only Russian language, from the age of 5 I have started learning English. When I was 11, they suggested me studying Chinese. Although I don't really look like a person who knows Chinese, I mean I have round eyes and light hair, but I have a quite high level, something like B1 in English system. That is why the theme of my speech is going to be dedicated to exploring the vastness of Chinese language. To start with, I would keep in mind that it's believed that coronavirus had started in China. This is the reason why now everybody thinks that people who learn Chinese are ill too. No guys, it's just a misconception. Actually, Chinese is really fun to learn. For example, tones. From the early beginning, students are taught how to pronounce Chinese words properly. Try to catch it. Ma, 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 ma. You have heard 5 completely different words with 5 completely different meanings. Isn't that lovely? Not only you need to try to understand which of those meanings is mentioned in the sentence, but also articulate them correctly while answering. It's hard as hell. Carrying on with this theme of just attempting to learn Chinese, we move to reading and writing. It's obvious that both to read and to write those hieroglyphs is incredibly complicated. But in addition, there is a hidden agenda. Let's look at the simple hieroglyph Mama. It's mother in English. Looks easy. It consists of 4 different parts, 2 of which are similar to each other. If we separate them and translate them into English, we'll have woman horse, woman horse. Mother is woman horse, woman horse. I don't know why it's like that. There is no logic. After studying Chinese for a while, I have decided to enter a Chinese olympiad that was held in my school. There were only 3 of us from the whole town who were competing. Surprisingly, I had a high result and I was asked to enter preparing courses for the next level. They took place in Долгопрудной in Века. When I arrived there, I was so confused. The first people I met there were Asian. In the end, I understood that a lot of members of the Olympiad were bilinguals. It means that one of their parents is from China, or they have lived in China for more than a half of their life. How could we, people who learned this language for several years, compete with people who know Chinese from the day they were born? It's so insane! What's funnier that there was a guy who was Chinese and he didn't know Russian at all. However, he was participating in the Olympiad and studying in a usual Russian school with an individual translator. It's so crazy! In fact, all these people are my friends and we still communicate. They're really kind and cool. The next summer, my parents suggested me going to China to study for a month to upgrade my level. I was so shocked. I had an opportunity to study in a real Chinese university, despite the fact that it was closed for Chinese students for summer holidays, and communicate with real Chinese teachers. In addition, I was able to live in a university's hostel on my own. It was such an impressive experience. When I got to China, I felt like I had gone to another world. The first thing that I've noticed was the mindset. Chinese are really different from Russians. Chinese person would never ever say that your language is poor. Also, I've noticed that not many Chinese understand that Europeans could be able to learn their language. A funny situation happened to me and my friends while we were driving a taxi on our first day. We were scared to make a mistake, and that's why we were talking to the driver in English. While we were going, he was speaking with his friends on his mobile phone using voice messages. I know it's bad, but we wanted to understand what he was talking about. In the end, we understood that he was describing us to his friends. How did we look and how were we acting? We were so angry and we wanted to get the truth out in the open. However, we decided to make the situation funny in the end. When we reached our destination, we had told, "Thank you for the ride, see you soon, bye bye" in Chinese. If you could only see his face, he was so confused, like the situation was awkward and funny at the same time. It was cool, by the way. One more thing from Chinese culture that I really love is food. Some people say that it's not tasty, but I totally disagree. The most delicious traditional dish is baozi. They look like giant dumplings with meat or vegetables inside. When I got home to Russia, I told my parents about baozi and how delicious they were. Mom and Dad wanted to surprise me for my birthday and buy them for me, but all the research ended up understanding that there is no baozi in Moscow, in the Moscow region. The nearest place where you can try them is in St. Petersburg. I am sure that the first thing that I'm going to do when I'm going to get back to China is buy a ton of baozi for me and my friends to taste. I could be talking about Chinese for ages, but in the end I'd like to say that although for some people it might be hard to conform Chinese customs and respect their practices, their language is incredibly fascinating. I am happy that I've made lots of friends all around the world and deeply immersed into Asian culture. Maybe I won't need Chinese in future, but now at least I could ask for a discount on AliExpress. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye, 再见, or whatever.